Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur TV show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so that you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. And let me just go ahead and give you all right now a trigger warning because I'm sure this video is going to tick you off. Okay, so now here's what happened. So there's a 26-year-old black man by the name of Tahir Kelly who was walking down the street minding his own black business when the police stopped him. Now, when the police stopped him, they did so because they had received a call from dispatch saying that there was two males walking or running on foot and they were being chased by someone in a car. Okay, so they saw Tahir, and I guess they thought maybe he was one of the people that had been running from the person chasing them in a vehicle. Now, they stopped him. They said that he was wearing clothing that fit the description, which turned out to be not true. That turned out to be a complete lie. His family and his attorney said he didn't have on clothes that matched the description they were given. The only thing that matched the description, as far as I'm concerned, was the fact that Tahir is black. Okay, and we know from experience that if there is a person that the police are looking for, all they have to do is see a black person, and that person soon becomes, a person of interest or the person that fits the description, even if the suspect is not even black, right? We've seen this numerous of times, and they'll lie about the clothing and all of that. But anyway, so here's what's going on right now. This is still an investigation that's ongoing, right? And there's going to be more updates to follow because we don't have all of the information. Now, so far, they've released the body cam footage. It's like 5 minutes and 46 seconds, the longest part of the footage. But the footage itself is actually 18 minutes, at least 18 minutes long. So all of the footage hasn't been released. So I can't make any definitive conclusions as far as I'm concerned, because maybe they're telling the truth. Maybe he did get the injuries from falling, but I don't think so. It just doesn't seem to make any sense that he would have all of these severe injuries from falling, even though we see him fall on the video, right? But we don't see the entire video. So there's that. Some things could have been, purposely left out or omitted, whatever. So body camera video was released by Michigan City Police Thursday afternoon after an Indiana man was tased by officers earlier this week. Now, the Michigan City Police released a statement Wednesday saying they were dispatched to the 1000 block of West 9th Street on Tuesday for a suspicious vehicle chasing two males on foot. And one of the subjects possibly had a weapon. Tahir Kelly was walking alone in the area when he was stopped by the police. An officer ran his name, stopped him and asked him his name. And Kelly initially said his name was Tahir Benson, which was a lie. Okay, he later said after they ran that name and found out that it was false, he then said that he'd recently been married to a woman named Mary Benson, and that's why I gave that last name. He then told them that his name was actually Tahir Kelly. So they ran that. As the officers getting out of the squad car, that's when Tahir took off running. So they say he took off running and the officers gave chase. Now, we see on the video, Kelly falls to the ground after being tased. So I'm going to go ahead and share that footage. Everyone, please get the likes up. Please like and share. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Thank you in advance.
Running for.
Developing tonight, newly released body camera video shows the moments police tased a man who claims police brutality.
The video appears to corroborate the Michigan City Police Department's version of events.
Nate Rogers live tonight with a closer look. Nate.
Yeah, Dawn and Corey, the mayor of Michigan City says officers acted within protocol during this altercation, and that Tahir's injuries are a result of him falling after he's being chased by police. Tahir Kelly's family is claiming excessive force, and they're also still questioning why he was being arrested in the first place.
The injuries my son has just didn't add up to a tasing fall.
This is Tahir Kelly, now with his face fractured, teeth chipped, and in need of reconstructive surgery. All right, man, turn around. Michigan City Police body camera footage showing Kelly running from officers on Tuesday, an officer tasing him and the 26-year-old falling hard on the ground. Kelly's mom says he was on his way to a convenience store. Police say they arrived after a suspicious vehicle was seen chasing two men on foot, and that one of those men possibly had a weapon.
Gun. Get on your face, bro. It's back here. I got you. Where was that at? It was under his hands. He was trying to ditch it.
It was not drawn. He did not pull it on them. So, like I said, there are still some issues and some questions that need to be answered.
Release all body cam from the hospital, all of it.
A couple dozen people rallied outside Michigan City Hall demanding transparency and additional police body cam footage release. The 18-minute-long video shows an ambulance arriving and Kelly on a gurney. Still, for Kelly's sister, the injuries just don't add up.
We was up the street from my mama's house. So all this rah-rah about what the police thought and all this extra, come on. If he was a threat, if he was actually trying to evade y'all, when he seen y'all, he would have went the opposite direction. Come on, let's be for real.
And police tell us that Kelly has 2 active warrants for failing to appear on misdemeanor charges. His mom says he's never gotten in any trouble with the law, anything more than driving without a license. Police say prosecutors are considering charging Kelly with resisting law enforcement and carrying a firearm without a permit.
Okay, so they said that he was he's facing charges for resisting arrest. Also, they said giving a false statement in one of the articles, and as well as carrying a firearm without a permit. Okay, now here's the thing. When they took him to the hospital, they obviously weren't thinking about charging him at that point because they actually released him from custody and just dropped him off at the hospital. Had they already, figured they were going to charge him, they likely would have had him handcuffed while he was in the hospital bed, or left a cop there, to make sure that he stayed put and didn't just try to leave. But so now his family feels like now that he's talking about suing them for what they did, now this is why they're trying to say that they're likely going to go ahead and press charges. That's what it seems like, as far as I'm concerned. But so anyway, let me share this other footage. Everyone, please get those likes up. Please like and share, subscribe to the channel. If you haven't done so already, thank you in advance.
And when I woke up, I was in the hospital.
Also breaking tonight, horrific injuries and shocking allegations from a young man in Indiana.
He says police officers caused those injuries while the department tells a different story.
Tia Ewing live tonight to piece together everything we know. Tia.
Well, this is what we know right now. His name is Tahir Kelly. He says that Michigan City, Indiana police had the wrong person from the start. He says that he was tased, he fell unconscious, and woke up in the hospital with severe injuries. Now, Michigan City, Indiana police, they're telling this story completely differently. They're saying that he resisted arrest, he was tased, and then he fell.
This is what Michigan City Police Department did to my face.
Tahir Kelly says he was walking alone in the 1000 block of West 9th Street in Michigan City, Indiana, Tuesday when he was stopped by police.
I was minding my own business. They swarmed me. They came from everywhere. They tased me in my back.
Kelly says he was immediately knocked unconscious, and when he woke up, he was at Franciscan Health Hospital. We blurred the 26-year-old's face, head, eye, and teeth because of the graphic nature of his injuries.
I gotta go have surgery on my face because of them.
Michigan City Police released a statement saying they were dispatched to the area for a suspicious vehicle chasing two males on foot, and one of the suspects possibly had a weapon. Michigan City, Indiana police say charges are now pending against Kelly for carrying a firearm without a permit. Dearest Baylor, Kelly's mother, says her son is developmentally delayed, and she saw some of the body cam video.
He got scared, so he turned to run, and they tased him in his back, in his spine, and his body locked up, and he fell, and that's when I got up and left.
Police also say officers were unable to confirm the identity of the 26-year-old male initially, who gave varying names. As officers attempted to place the male into custody, the male fled on foot, running from police. Officers pursued the male and deployed a taser to assist in the apprehension of the male who was resisting arrest. As a result of being tased, the male fell to the ground and sustained injuries to his facial area. Kelly's mother says there's more to what police are saying.
He looked like a living image here.
We're going to make sure we get the right justice.
Now, we do know there's body camera video that Michigan City, Indiana police have. It has not been released to the media just yet. There's also a peaceful protest that will be held at the police department tomorrow at 3:30 in the afternoon. Live tonight, I'm Tia Ewing with Fox 32.
Okay, so I'm going to say this much. If it weren't for the fact that the police are so corrupt, so racist, and so heinous in so many ways and act as gang members, and in fact, actually have gang members within their department, if it wasn't for the fact that they usually escalate situations rather than de-escalate situations with Black people, then maybe people wouldn't have so many questions and so much doubt. Because here, even if they're telling the truth, even if he actually did sustain all of those injuries from falling after he himself ran, and then he was tased. Okay, even if that's the case, no one believes them, or many Black people don't believe them because of all the lies that they usually tell. Another thing is this: even if they're telling the truth about the injuries coming from the fall of him being tased, the thing that's suspicious to me is they haven't released all of the body camera footage. There's 18 plus minutes. They've only released 5 minutes and 46 seconds of footage. Another thing is, if you notice, some of the footage when they were showing it looked like it was blurred. Why was it looking so blurry? And then also they said they didn't want to show it. The reporter said they blurred out his face and teeth and all of that. Why are they blurring it out? Because here's the thing. They often show us Black people being shot numerous of times, bloody, laying on the ground, dead. They show these things on the news all of the time. They show it all over social media. They don't blur these things out. They want us to see them. But for some reason, they don't want us to see the abrasions and cuts and bruises and the skin missing off his face and his chipped teeth. I'm just wondering why not. Another thing is, Tahir said that he fell and then he was instantly knocked unconscious. And then that when he woke up, or he didn't say when he fell he was knocked unconscious, but he at one point said that he was instantly knocked unconscious, and when he woke up, he was at the hospital. So I'm wondering, when did this occur? Because we see him fall to the ground. We see the police walk over and they're like, checking him or whatever, searching him, and then they sit him up, and then they found the gun and all of that. So he wasn't unconscious at that point. And he seemed to be awakened when they put him in the ambulance. I mean, at least it looked like he was. So I'm just wondering, at what point in this whole incident was he unconscious and then didn't remember, what happened afterwards until he got to the hospital? Now, does he remember everything accurately and correctly? I don't know. But I'll tell you what, I'm going to need to see the rest of that footage, as are the rest of the people who are complaining, before we can make a definitive decision that the police are in fact telling the truth. Now, both the mayor and the chief of police said that they agree with the officers, that basically they're saying the police did their job. The chief says the police did their job. Chief Dion Campbell of the Michigan City Police Department is fully supporting the actions of the officers, stating they acted in accordance to the law and with professionalism after reviewing the incident and understanding the facts of the body camera. That's what the department said in a news release. Police referred the case to LaPorte County Prosecutor's Office for review for possible gun charges, because they did say that he had a gun and that was loaded and he didn't have a permit to carry, but that's also a misdemeanor. So they say that the video also showed police apparently discovering a gun inside his pocket. On Thursday, a small group of people, family members and loved ones, gathered outside the city hall, asking for a meeting of the city's mayor and police chief. Kelly's attorney contends his client should have never been stopped in the first place. And that's my main thing. That's the problem that I have with this. Because like I said, even if the police are telling the truth about him getting those injuries from falling, well, he shouldn't have been stopped in the first place because the police already lied. They literally lied and said he had on the same clothing as one of the suspects they were looking for. Another thing that I want to know is, like I said, if he was supposedly, or they thought he was one of the people that they were looking for, I would have thought they'd be looking for the person who was in the vehicle who was chasing the two males on foot. That's what I would have thought, because that person was obviously the suspect that was chasing two other people who were clearly victims. So I'm just wondering why they stopped him anyway. And then, like I said, they lied about him having on matching clothes. The only thing he did to fit the description was be black. That's just it as far as I'm concerned. Now, they go on to say, if I don't fit the description, if I'm not doing nothing wrong, if I have a right to be on the street, you don't have the right to stop me. That's what Attorney Cannon Lambert said. Kelly's mother said hours went by before she even knew that her son had been injured and taken to the hospital. Her son, who remains hospitalized, may need to be transferred to a trauma center and follow up with surgeons. Yeah, they're talking about reconstructive surgery. All of that from a fall, I'm just saying, sounds real suspicious as far as I'm concerned. His face is fractured. He has staples and stitches. He's really messed up. This is what his family says. Both relatives and family and attorneys say the injuries just don't add up. It doesn't make sense that someone will be tased, they fall, and they have drag marks on their face. It doesn't make sense. Drag marks. Okay? So anyway, with that all being said, I'm going to go to the footage now of what the attorney had to say. Let me get that cued. Everyone, in the meantime, please like and share. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click the notification bell and click the word all so that you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. Let me pull this up real quick. Okay, here we go. This is it.
Family just had a news conference, Asal.
Yeah, Mugo, they did. The family speaking out at the attorney's office here. They say something is just not adding up about this arrest. Now, this happened in Michigan City, Indiana. Police say they were responding to a report of a suspicious car chasing two people on a residential street on West 9th Street. This happening on April 5th. The caller told police one of the suspects was possibly armed. Police say Tahir Kelly matched the description of that 911 call. The Michigan City Police Department says when they stopped to talk to Kelly, he would not give them his real name and he took off running. That's when they say they used a stun gun on Kelly and that the injuries he suffered were from that fall. His family here today saying that is not what they think happened.
Doesn't make sense. And this family has real concerns about that. In fact, the community has real concerns about that. One of the main concerns that we have is that now, despite not charging Mr. Kelly before, police are now threatening Mr. Kelly with being charged for walking down the street, half a block from his house.
Now, a couple of things the family wanted to speak about here was the fact that they say Kelly was back on his way home to his house, rather, from the corner store when all of this happened, but he never returned. And his family was actually not able to locate him until late last night when they found out he was at the hospital. Now, Kelly has not been formally charged, but his family says police are threatening a number of charges, including making a false statement, resisting police, and carrying a firearm without a permit. The Michigan City Police Chief has said he fully supports the actions of the officers and says they acted in accordance to the law and with professionalism. The family's attorney saying they have requested body cam footage from police, Kelly's community in Michigan City, is planning for a protest later this afternoon. I'm live in the loop. Asal Razai, CBS 2 News.
A chance for more rain and
So anyway, like I said, honey, I don't believe it. I just don't believe it. It just all sounds real suspicious. And now they're threatening him with charges. Make that make sense, okay? Because they left him at the hospital in the beginning. Like I said, they didn't leave an officer there to stand guard. They didn't have him in handcuffs to the bed or anything like they do when they're transporting the person straight to the jail after they've been released from the hospital. So they clearly weren't going to press charges in the first place. And here's the thing, like I said, why are you just going down the street harassing Black people who are minding their own business because you got a call about someone and you're looking for that person? I'm just curious. Then they lied and said that he was wearing the clothes that fit the description, which is absolutely an outright lie, full of BS like they always are. And like I said before, the police are so nefarious. People don't believe, Black people that is, we usually don't believe anything they say. Okay, and that's their own fault that we feel that way. They bring these things on themselves. They say they're being transparent, but are they really? Because I'd like to see all of that footage. Why release some of it, but not all of it? And then they say they're not going to give any more information on the case because it's ongoing. It's still under investigation. So I don't know, honey, but it all sounds suspect. I don't believe anything the lying devils say. And how do you know when they're lying? Well, that's easy because their lips are moving. Okay, that's how I feel about that. So everyone, please like and share, subscribe to the channel. If you haven't done so already, be sure to click the notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time I go live. Peace.
In order for you and me to devise some kind of method or strategy to offset some of the events or a repetition of the events that have taken place here in Los Angeles recently, we have to go to the root. We have to go to the cause. Dealing with the condition itself is not enough.
Dear Mr. Massa, I'm just trying to mind my own business. What's the matter? It's just another day, another Black king captured. I'm about to lose my brain, stuck inside this ghetto rapture. I got a lot of smoke. If you want it, you can have it. They want a hat trick, but this is Black girl magic. Ain't talking about the kind that'll make you disappear, but I'm talking about the power of the melanin within. Ain't looking for trouble, but I'ma say this one time. I put 2 dukes up if you try to touch mine. We still want justice for Samir and Trayvon. You say you don't see color, but racism ain't blind. They targeting little kids whose skin look just like mine. So I'm paranoid, it's a war zone outside. And I'm a Black queen, so if you ask me to step out of my car, you gon' have to snatch me. Cause I ain't going no damn well. Had to spend my whole life living unfair. Ancestors got my back and they right here. You can never understand, it's a nightmare. Living in my Black shoes by the Black rules. You can keep your handshake, I don't dap coons. The white man to go nuts if he cash you. But you all on his side like a damn fool. Make it make sense.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
We are exploited. We are downtrodden.
Make it make sense.
We are denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation
Queen.
away from us or aside from us is come together against the common enemy. Who taught you to hate the texture of your hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin?
Parents, pay attention to the books, the school system, given to your little children. Lies mixed with wisdom. His skin too bright, so he was blind to the prison. My skin just right, so I collide with division. You trying to pray to God, but we tired of religion. No savior saving, we got to save our savings. We used to pay miss, how we gon' make the slave rich? But who's to blame, and tell me why you complaining? We need a team effort just to rule the nation. Like a bad relationship, missing communication. We missing moderation. They trying to get a poison to my population. No reparations. I'm getting tired of Satan.
We are oppressed.
Queen. I'm getting tired of waiting.
We are downtrodden.
Queen.
We are denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get